Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. That felt good. That felt good to hear. Let me make sure my mic working, because you know what I'm saying, my mic likes to not work sometimes, but it seems like we good. It seems like we good, man. It's your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco, and it is another episode. We back. Philly's Morning Joe. I missed y'all. I really did miss y'all. I truly do mean that. I really missed being able to do this every morning. Life has been crazy for me, but we should be back. We should be back, and it feels good to be back. Already 15 people in the chat. I was ready for nobody to be here. I would have totally understood it. I would have totally got it. I would have been okay with it. But I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate y'all so much for being here. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, join the family if you haven't already. Let's talk some Eagles football, man. A lot of good things are happening. A lot of good things are happening. A lot of good things are happening. The Eagles look good this whole offseason. I mean, obviously, losing Hassan Reddick, that sucks. You know, he's a Philly kid. You would love to keep him in Philadelphia. He wanted to be an Eagle. The money just didn't work out. We'll see what happens there. We'll see if they even extend him. But, you know, the Eagles extend Devontae Smith. They signed Saquon Barkley. I mean, where do you start? Where do you really start? This has been a win all offseason. All offseason, I feel like the Eagles have done what they were supposed to do. And now we go into the draft with probably the most open draft board that we've had in recent memory. Like realistically, even if you look back at the 2017 Super Bowl, we had holes. We had very dire needs coming out of that season. This year, not so much. Not so much. We're not really sure where we want to go. Obviously, you can make arguments for offensive line, defensive line. You can make arguments for cornerback. But at the end of the day, you can do whatever you really want to do. So it's a beautiful feeling. The Eagles are in a good spot, and we'll probably do a mock draft because I've been doing a whole bunch of mock drafts, so I'm excited. But shout out to everybody already in the chat, man. We got KJ in the building, Antonio Holmes in the building. He says drafts right around the corner. How he's gonna do something crazy. He might. Howie Roseman. The biggest thing this offseason for me, and maybe I'm alone on this, but you guys let me know how you feel about it. I feel like he's changed his stripes. You know, they say a zebra can't change their stripes. Well, I don't know if that's the saying, but if that's the saying, that's what I'm going to go with. I feel like he has. I feel like that he's shown that he understands what positions he didn't put enough value into, and he's starting to do that. Now, linebacker, if he goes and gets a great linebacker in the draft, it'll be even more of an amazing moment. Right, so I think that the Eagles fans have a lot to be excited about. But shout out to Antonio Holmes. I'm excited for this draft. I really am excited for this draft. Jose, what's going on? Hibachi Joe. I can't talk. Hibachi Joe. Yeah, teppanyaki is what it's technically called, you know, for being technical. But yeah, I've been busy, man, but it's good to see everybody. Mark C in the building, Brandon in the building. What's going on? KJ says we have no excuses. Not at all. We have zero. We have zero. D Tyler in the building. What's going on, family? What's going on? D Tyler says we need a linebacker. We do. It's going to be very interesting to see what Devin White we get. Is Devin White going to be the guy that we all hope he is, or is Devin White going to be the guy that he's kind of shown to be over the past year or so, a year or two, I guess. I mean, he really like kind of fell off after 2020. So like 2-3 years, I guess. That's not that good, but hopefully we get the good version of him. That's what I'm looking for. Berto, what's going on? What's going on? PJ in the building. What's going on? He says smash that like button. Definitely hit that like button. I like that comment. We gotta, you know what I'm saying? I forget that I have all these, you know, tools to use. So give me a little bit of time. I'm getting back into the swing of things. Swing of things. Dad says draft all defense, first 3 picks, build up an elite defense. I wouldn't be mad at that. You spent money on the offense. You're tied to a lot of these players, you know, with money through the offense. So yeah, defensively, maybe go get you some young dogs. There's some guys that I really, really like. So I think this is a good draft. I think it works for the Eagles. The Eagles, they just need to go best player available, and I feel like there's a good bevy of picks at positions that they feel comfortable making picks at, like defensive line, offensive line. I don't feel like they're going to have to reach on any cornerback or safety, which kind of helps them because they don't usually pick the best of them, right? I mean, realistically, and wide receiver too, outside of day one guys, top 15 picks, we don't really pick great wide receivers. I mean, you can look at like D-Jax, I guess, Jeremy Maclin. That's about it. That's really about it. I can't really think of a bunch of wide receivers that we've drafted. You know, obviously Devontae Smith now, but you know, it's a top 10 pick. So we'll see what happens. Antonio says, Joe, how bad did Reddick really want to be an Eagle? Smitty took a team-friendly deal early. I know I am broke, but 20 million, 25. Reddick should have taken 20 piece. Jets haven't gotten him money. Yeah, and it's funny. I was saying this, earlier, and it might be stupid, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Jets don't even extend him, because if they're all in on this year, if they're all in on, the Aaron Rodgers experiment, if that's where their head is, which it makes sense to be, you need to find a quarterback once you get rid of Aaron Rodgers. So it's not a given that you're going to continue to be good. Maybe they're just saying, we're not going to really extend you. We're just going to try and, go out there and win a Super Bowl this year. If it doesn't happen, we'll hope that we get a 3rd round pick in exchange for you. What happened, 3rd round as far as a compensatory pick? What if he comes right back to Philly? In his mind, and which I get it, especially when you're an older player, obviously he's like over 30 now. When you get to that age, you're looking for that last bag. So I get it. Go get your money. I'm not that mad at him. But yeah, Devontae Smith definitely took a very, very team-friendly deal. I actually have the numbers here. I wanted to go over that as well. 3 years, $75 million, right? 3 years, $75 million. That's a beautiful thing. And then you hear that and you're like, okay, 25 mil per. And then you see the breakdown of the cap. And he has 4 void years. You know, Howie Roseman loves to put those void years in. So his void years take him through 2032. But the rest of his contract looks like $8 million next year, 7.5 next year. I mean, the year after that, 26, you're looking at 10.7. 2027, you're looking at 14 million. Then at the end of his contract, realistically, you're looking at 20 million. So you can probably extend him. You probably are going to extend him again around 2027, where he's probably gonna most likely make double of what he's making now. But I mean, the Eagles, I don't know how they do it. I'm going to be real with you. I have no idea how they do it, but I'm glad that they do. It's insane to see how Howie Roseman gets this done, to be real with you. I knew that it was going to be a good deal, because if Howie Roseman's making a deal, it's going to be a good deal. I think that we can all agree there. But to see the team-friendly cap hits is crazy, and that's why I always say that's all I care about. All I care about is the cap hit. That's literally all I care about. Nothing else matters to me, because it doesn't make sense to worry about anything else. Get rid of that. I just had to fix something real quick. But yeah, it doesn't make sense to worry about anything else, because that's all that really affects us is the cap hit. People talk about, $100 million, $200 million. I don't give a damn if you get $1 billion. If that cap hit is manageable, I'm cool with it. Twist, good morning. I appreciate y'all. We got 20 people in the building. I appreciate y'all. Be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe. King Eagle says we need at least 2 starters out of this draft, maybe even 3. Where would you put them? If you could say that you're walking out of here, no matter who you pick, with 3 starters at 3 different positions, where would those positions be? Or if it's 2 players at 1 spot, where would those positions be? Because if I'm thinking off the top of my head, I'm thinking linebacker. I would love to get us a linebacker that's going to start for us for the next 5-6 years. I would say edge rusher. It would all be on defense, edge rusher and safety. That would probably be my 3. It's hard to miss on wide receiver this draft. There's a lot of good wide receivers. Joe Howie is a cap wizard with that. So yeah, I don't know how he does it. I thought that was kind of funny. I don't know how he does it. Safety, offensive guard, and linebacker. I can see that. I thought our cap guru left. We had tons of front office guys leave, and Howie keeps doing his thing. It's kind of like when we had Andy Reid as our coach. You know what I'm saying? We were losing coaches left and right, but it never really affected Andy Reid, because he was the cog. He was the main reason why things were kind of moving the way they were. So yeah, we're lucky to have Howie Roseman. And I remember, and I think you can still use the emojis when we all wanted Howie Roseman fired. I kind of keep those emojis there just to, thoughts of worst times, I guess. It's crazy. I don't know. It's crazy. We could get a good starter at wide receiver 3 or safety. Yeah. I think that offensive guard makes a lot of sense too. I didn't even think of that. But, it comes down to the thought process. What do you feel about Tyler Steen? What do you feel about Cam Jurgens? Me personally, move Cam Jurgens back to center and draft yourself a guard. If you can walk out of this draft with either Cooper Beebe, Zach Zinter, he can play guard. I'm trying to think of who else. Maybe a Jordan Morgan. I know that's kind of a high reach, but did I say Christian Haynes? I'm trying to think of other guards that I really like in this draft. I know I'm forgetting some people, but day 1 and 2, you can probably get yourself a really good starter at that guard spot, like a 10-year starter. So I wouldn't be mad if that happened. What's the most important position we need to address in the draft? That's a great question. I would say safety and linebacker. I think that safety and linebacker is a position we need some solidarity at. We do not have good luck with safeties. I mean, I've followed this team my whole life. I remember going through all these Earl Wolf, we had what's Holmes' name from, we had Jordan Poyer, just let him walk. He never even made the field for us, I don't believe. But we've had so many different safeties. I'm trying to think of all these random safeties. It was such a godsend when we got Malcolm Jenkins. After we lost Brian Dawkins, we were just going through guy after guy after guy. So I would love to solidify that position and not have to worry about it for 4 or 5 years. You can say the same thing about cornerback. We kind of got, we got blessed with a big play Slay and James Bradbury having the year he had. We have not had great cornerback play for a long time. We don't draft well at the position most of the time. Excuse me. That's really where I'm looking at. I want us to change our draft history. Like, I feel like our draft history is that we're terrible at drafting, cornerbacks and wide receivers and linebackers and safeties. Let's start changing that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we're learning what players we need what type of players we need to go after. So that's really what I want to see. But I hope that answered the question. I know I kind of went all around on that. Dad says, I'll say it again, there's plenty of later round O-line talent in the draft. If Stoutland is master coach, let him develop and build up an elite defense. I agree, but also, my thing is, yes, I do feel comfortable saying, all right, pick somebody from the bunch at the end of the draft, Stoutland, that you want to develop. I'm cool with that. I totally am cool with that. But also, if he says, listen, I love Haynes, I love Cooper Beebe, I love, one of these guys that you're going to have to probably get in round 2, I say give it to him. I mean, if he loved Landon Dickerson, he was right with that, right? Like, I mean, if you're going to get me a guy that's going to be here for 10 years, I'm going to listen to you, Stoutland. I'm going to listen to you. And same thing with tight end. People don't talk about tight end a lot, but look, if there's a guy that you're like, listen, he's going to be here for the next, 7 to 8 years, he's going to be our guy once Dallas Goedert is gone, then do it. You got to pull the trigger. A lot of people think like you have to get day one impact. They have to be all pro. You're not going to get that. It's very rare that you get that. So at the end of the day, especially when you're sitting at number 22, you got to get players that will compete for positions and guys that will go in there and make the bottom of your roster even better, because that's really what it comes down to. When stuff happens, you have to have guys that can come right in, play at a high level. If you can get guys that are day one starters and they're all that in a bag of chips out the gate, then God bless. You're a lucky person. You're a lucky team. But you have to get players that can compete at positions that you need competition. And guard is one of them. Tight end is another one of them. Safety, I think, is still a position. Cornerback, even though you have a lot of guys, I think that's still a position that you want to get good competition going. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different spots. Do you think Bradbury thrives this year and Slay struggles, or do you think they both have a great year under Vic Fangio? I think that their success is going to be really tied to this defensive line. I don't know what we are defensive, as far as our defensive line is going to go. Obviously, we have a good interior D-line, but if we can't get pressure, I think that we're going to get exposed on the back end. I think you could say that about almost any team. And this new tackling rule, I hate to make excuses already, but it's going to be a B word. It's going to be a heck of a adjustment for a lot of these players. So I don't feel like Bradbury's going to thrive. I don't feel like Slay's going to thrive. I think that they'll have good years. I think that they are pro players at the end of the day. They won't, I don't think they'll be as bad as last year. I think that the change in system will help, but I think there's going to be a lot of stuff, a lot of moving parts that they're going to have to kind of get used to on the fly. So I think it's going to be tough for defenses all around, if I'm being 100% honest. I'm really excited, and not really excited, but I'm really intrigued to see who the top defenses are, because like I said, there's this new tackling rule doesn't make much sense. It leaves a lot of room for interpretation. So I think that it's going to take a little bit of time for most defenses, if not all, to really get used to it. So we'll see what happens, though. N'Kobe Dean needs to make some noise. He needs to stay healthy. That's, what I'm saying? He definitely needs to stay healthy. I like Kyron from BYU at right guard in the second. I wouldn't mind that. I would not mind Kyron. Yeah, I mean, there's some good offensive linemen in this draft. There's definitely some really good offensive linemen in this draft. I'm blanking on a whole bunch of names, but we can go through a draft and I'm sure I'll be like, oh yeah, I like this kid. Christian Jones all the way at the bottom of the draft is somebody I'm usually like, oh, I should take him. There's a lot of guys in this draft like that. What's going on, Stu Vision? What's going on, brother? Twist says Ringo and Rogers are future corners. We need safety, linebacker, and edge. I do feel good about these cornerbacks. I will say that. I don't know who's going to be the future. I don't know if, these guys are going to be the future. I do feel good about it, but I would not be mad about drafting a guy. And that's the thing. If you draft a guy, and I know some people don't really like this player for some reason, but if you draft a guy like Cooper DeJean, you just fit him in wherever you need him to go. That's why I like guys like Cooper DeJean. That's why I like guys like Malik Mustafa, even, Cam Kitchens to a certain extent. I like these guys because they're so versatile. They're multiple. They can do really whatever you need them to do. So you don't have to pick them and say, all right, we need you to play cornerback. It's really, all right, if our cornerbacks suck, we might make you play there. If our safeties suck, we're going to probably make you play there. So you can do really whatever you want with them. So I want versatility, especially on the defense. I want youth. I want versatility. I think that's the smartest way to go. Daz, what's going on? JJ in the building, what's going on? Travis Rickon says, what up, my Eagles fam? Philly Dogs best fan base ever. You ain't lying. Go Birds. You are not lying. Go Birds. Daz, if Ringo played for San Fran, KC, Dallas, he would be going to the Pro Bowl this year. We need to play our young guys. Yeah, I mean, we do, but we still got these guys under contract. I get it. I agree. I was trying to play devil advocate, but I agree. I think they do need to play. And I don't like this whole. I felt like they were doing shifts last year, like in hockey when they get off the ice and they bring another line out. Like, nah, I don't like that. I don't like that whole running Eli Ricks out there in shifts and putting Ringo out there in shifts. Like, these guys are either gonna play or they're not gonna play. What are we gonna do? You got to either poop or get off the pot, right? I don't like that whole. I don't know. It was just really weird to me. So I do agree they need to play. Bradbury's not going to have a good year. Those two don't tackle. Bradbury was just getting ran by in a zone. I'm just saying. That's what I'm kind of saying. I don't think Bradbury has the speed anymore, but I don't know. I'm trying to stay positive. So I'm hoping he does have a good year. That's all I can do right now. If Ringo was in the draft, he would be going first round, 6'2", 4.3. 40, 21 years old. I mean, he did that when he was 20, so he didn't go first round in that. I was surprised. Everybody thought he was going to be a first round pick in that draft. I wonder who's going to be the Kaylee Ringo or the Nakobe Dean of this draft, right? Who's the guy that falls like way further than they should? That would be very interesting to see. We could also use a good wide receiver 3 that can play inside, outside. Yeah, we picked up some guys, though. I mean... we definitely picked up some guys. I'm not pushing for one. If we get one in day 3 or something like that, I'm not going to be mad at it at all. Especially in this draft, there are a lot of good wide receivers. But I'm not saying you have to draft a wide receiver. We picked up some guys. We got Saquon Barkley, who's going to be a pass-catching threat out of the backfield. So that wide receiver 3 option, he's going to be like option number 5 or 6, if that. So... we'll see what happens. I know that a lot of people tell me that Kellen Moore likes to use his wide receiver 3 a lot more. So we'll see. Joe, if we draft another corner, then how many you keeping as of right now? I mean, you deal with that. When you figure out during the training camp who's the guy and who's not, then that's when you figure that out. Maybe you say, I'll just eat the cap money and we'll trade James Bradbury or Darius Slay if one of these young guys just step up and we're like, we don't need all 3 of them. You know what I'm saying? Hey, having too many options is always a good option. It's always a good option, in my opinion. If you can make multiple decisions, the best decision for your team, that's always a good thing, in my opinion. What's going on, Richie? Hey, Castro, now that Smitty is signed, which I love. Yeah, I love it too. Eagles tradable assets on their rookie deal to obtain Patrick Surtain are limited. Eagles have Juergens, Jordan Davis, and Milton Williams only. Yeah, I don't see that Patrick Surtain thing happening. I mean, Maybe, you never know, but I doubt that it happens. The Eagles have a lot of money tied up in a lot of players right now. They got to get youthful on the defense, and obviously Patrick Surtain would, check that box. But I just don't see it. I just don't see them wanting to give a big contract to another cornerback right now. Like, it's a little bit too early for me. I could be wrong, though. I just don't see it happening for the Eagles. We'll see, though. We'll definitely see. Jay Davis, what's his deal lately? Too much Twinkies. He needs to step up. Help Carter. I mean, I think it's a little bit overblown about the whole he's slow or lazy. I don't know what people were trying to make the narrative about him. I think Jordan Davis is fine. He's got to get better. You know what I'm saying? He's got to get more stamina. He's going to be playing more snaps. So I think that he understands that. So, I think that he's done fine. He's done what he's supposed to do, but I think that there is untapped potential with Jordan Davis. So I understand being a little bit like, all right, where's the rest? But I think he's done well. He's one of the best defensive tackles against the run already. So I think he's like top 5, top 6, something like that. So, I mean, he's done what he's supposed to do. Shout out to Kevin. What's going on, Kev? Good morning, brother. Good morning. We should draft a wide receiver with all this talent in the draft. I mean, you could. Last year, there was a whole bunch of running backs. We didn't draft a running back. So, I mean, there was a whole bunch of wide receivers last year, too. Eagles are going all in, buy now, pay later. I hope the Eagles are not in salary cap hell when the new regime takes over. Jeffrey Lurie will soon retire, and his son Julian will take over. I mean, Jeffrey Lurie's only owned the team for 20 years. He ain't that old. Yeah, I mean, if Jerry Jones can go until he's 900 years old, why not Jeffrey Lurie? I don't think it's that soon. I mean, maybe. I hope not. But at the end of the day, I don't think we're going to be in that bad of a cap situation, because when you look at a lot of these people's caps hit, it's really not that big. And a lot of these void years where you're seeing, bigger money or dead cap hits, those are going to be restructured and reworked. So I don't think that, it's a long game. It really is a long game. You're just hoping that it never ends, right? You're hoping that you don't have another COVID year where it just ruins your team's cap space. But outside of that, the money should only increase. So I don't think it's going to be a bad move. You can get a good wide receiver at 120. You're not wrong, Daz. Doesn't Howie have the last say on the last 3 roster spots? Most likely. I'm sure his voice definitely carries, but I mean, I'm sure that it's a group thing. I don't think that he's just sitting there saying, all right, these are the guys we're getting. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure he takes people's advice into heed, or at least gives them a big voice. I think Lurie respects Vic, and he'll allow him to play the best players regardless of their money or draft status. Yeah, I do think that as well. I think that Vic is a veteran presence, so it's going to help Nick Sirianni. It's going to be an interesting year. I will say that. I want Murphy or Newton with Carter. Pass rush would be insane. Yeah, you could go with another interior guy too. You know what I'm saying? If one of these interior guys drop, you could go with another interior D lineman. It would be interesting. That's the thing. The Eagles have so many ways that they can go. You can trade back. You could trade, which I would not be mad at. If you traded back in the first round or even out of the first round, got yourself a couple more top 100 picks, I'll be cool with that. And, and I asked this on Twitter. What was more valuable to people was whether it was a bunch of top 100 picks or, that number 22 pick. To me, is a bunch of top 100 picks. If you have 4 or 5 top 100 picks, you're sitting pretty in this draft. You really are, especially when your only top, first round draft pick is a 22. It's not like you're getting one of the creme de la creme. So I think that, hey, it makes sense to me. The film is out. Trading Slay and Bradbury to another team before the season will at best get a conditional draft pick in 2025 draft. Yeah, I mean, yes and no. I feel like there's always a coach that says they can fix something. You know what I'm saying? I can fix him. I can solve that problem. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think that we would get a bunch. We didn't really give up a bunch for either of them anyways. I mean, outside of money, right? If you want to count what we paid them. But Darius Slay, we got him for what, a third and a fifth? If you got a 4th round pick, I don't think anybody's too upset. Especially if you could get off his contract like we did with Hassan Reddick. So I don't think anybody's too upset if you get something like that. And then James Bradbury, I don't think we're really asking for much. It's about, do we have a guy that can take his spot? That's really all it comes down to. So I agree, but I don't think that anybody really is, expecting a whole bunch. That's my thing. I don't think anybody should be expecting a whole bunch. I think the first pick is Edge Latu. I would love him. He's a good kid. He's a really good kid. And I know when he said that if he wasn't playing football, he would be a fireman. A lot of people lost their stuff. But, I made a joke about it as well. But he's a good kid. I met him out at the Senior Bowl. Really down-to-earth guy. Had a smile on his face the whole time. You could just tell he was enjoying what he was doing. He was a dog out on the field. I don't think I have to say that. So it would be really interesting. Hulk Mercenary says Latu and Verse. I would love Jared Verse. We only have Sweat for one more year, and we need more than Huff and Smith next year. I agree, Hulk. I agree 100%. Edge, I've been saying it from the beginning of this offseason, even when we had Hassan Reddick. I was like, the edge position is a need. Edge position is a need, and nobody wanted to listen to me. But at the end of the day, Edge positions of me. I was trying to tell y'all. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. We got 31 people in the chat. I cannot thank y'all enough. I have not been able to do live shows in longer than I like. I'll be 100% honest with you. It's been way too long, but I'm chasing a career goal that I've had. I'm a chef, if you guys don't know, so I'm chasing a career goal that I've had for a while now, so it's a blessing to be able to do that. So it kind of took me away from the show a little bit, but now things are starting to settle down with that training and everything. So here I'm back. I am back. I am definitely back. And yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm so excited about what this Eagles team is. I feel like it's not just about this year, but the next couple of years. I'm excited to see how they grow, how they mold this team, and just what we're gonna do, man. Is this coaching staff gonna be the coaching staff? So I appreciate that, Hulk. I missed y'all for real. I ain't just saying it. But y'all want to do a mock draft? Y'all want to do a mock draft? Y'all want to do a mock draft? I want to do a mock draft. Y'all down for a mock draft? Let me know in the chat if y'all down for a mock draft. We'll get a mock draft going. Y'all want to do a mock draft? Do you want to do a mock? All right, let's do a mock draft. Bro. All right. Let me know if y'all can see it well. All right. Y'all ready? Let's get it. So hopefully we get some good trade offers. I get to talk about what I was, thinking as far as trading out. So, all right. My thing is, you look at the top 11 already, off rip. Latu goes. I mean, we'll see what happens. I've seen him drop. I've seen him obviously go top 15 a lot. But realistically, anybody there that you would say, all right, now that we're out the top 11, would you try to trade up and get a Jared Verse? I feel like does Broncos get him? The only people I would trade up for is Jared Verse or Kenyon Mitchell. I mean, Brock Bowers, I would love Brock Bowers if he dropped, but I doubt they would. Dallas Turner's not there. Dallas Turner already got taken. As long as he draft Verse in the first. What's going on, Drew? What's going on? If I could take Jared, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would move up for Jared Verse or I'll move up for Kenyon Mitchell. Let's see how it plays out. Let's see where he goes. Jared Verse is still there. We're gonna try, y'all. We're gonna try. I'm gonna holler at the Seahawks real quick. Because I don't feel like you can sit at 22 if you want Jared Verse. So I give you, know what I'm saying? I'll give you 22. You give me 16 back. I'd really hate to give them. I'll give you a third next year. 171, 172. And you give us 179 back. I feel like that's fair. They're going to probably say no. All right, they rejected it. We're going to try one more. Let's try one more. How much are we willing to give up? Should I give... Do I offer a second round pick? Do I offer a second round pick this year or next? We'll give you 53. You give us 81 back. What do y'all think of that? If I gave up the 22, our 53rd, so our second round pick, 172 and 210. Next year, third. All right, we'll try next year's second instead of this year's. They said nope. They said nope. They said nope. All right, come on, Seahawks. Look out for your boy, man. Do I like? Let's gamble, and we're gonna resume it and maybe get down to us later. All right, see, he's still there. It might be a little bit easier now. We got Bengals. Only 4 picks. We're moving up. I'll give him 171. I'm capping. I'll give him 120. I think that's fair. That's a lot. That's good. Okay, I guess not. If Verse comes to, you think he'll drop to 22? We could take that chance. So give him this year's first and next year's second. That's a lot, no? I'll do this. This is probably going to be like the most I'll do. That's not terrible. We moved down 40 spots. That's not terrible. That's not terrible. I don't think that's a horrible. I don't think that's horrible. You stay in the top 100 and you move up 4 spots, you get your guy. I'm okay with that. Oh, people want to trade us stuff. All right, we just did all that. We're not trading back. We going to take Jared Verse. What's going on, John? What's going on? All right, so, I mean, this I'm not mad at either because then you get some of those picks back. You can get some picks for next year. But, all right, let's see what we got. Well, are they going to make it that easy for me? Hold up. Yeah, they're going to make it easy for me. We're going to work on this defense. Now, just a quick, to get in my mind real quick, right? You look at Max Melton. I love Max Melton. I would love for the Eagles to draft Max Melton. I think he's a very good cornerback. He gives you that competition that I was talking about. He's young. He's fast. He's a sticky player. Zach Frazier is a guy that could probably move to guard. You can play him. Cam Kitchens is another guy I've been talking about. Michael Hall is another guy that's really, really good on that interior defensive line. He's a dog. I can see them trying to go after him. Ruke is another guy that's really good. Kamari Lassiter is a cornerback that I've seen us connected to a lot. Ben Sinnott, I don't know how I did that. Ben Sinnott is a really good player. A lot of people put me onto him. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I, was kind of enamored with a couple other guys, the real athletic, shiny guys. But Ben Sinnott is just a dog. So I wouldn't mind that either. Chris Jenkins is another guy, maybe a little later. I wouldn't mind. Malachi Corley is a dog. I think they call him the racket god, if I'm not mistaken. Junior Colson, another guy that's a really good linebacker. I know Edgerrin Cooper is starting to kind of fall out of favor with some people, but I really like Cooper, and I've liked him since the beginning of the draft process. That was the first guy I told people he's my number one guy, and it really hasn't changed for me. I like Peyton Wilson. I like Junior Colson. I like Maurice Liafu, I think is how you say his last name. I like other guys. Tommy Eckenberg is a guy that I like, but yeah, we're going with Edgerrin Cooper. Yeah, Corley's a dog. Lassiter ran a 4.65. Sheesh. What's going on, Troy? What's going on? Twist said F them picks. I ain't even mad at that, dog. I ain't even mad at that. Cleveland wants to give us 117. That's not bad. That's not terrible. Who do we got on the board? Devondre Sweat. That would be interesting at this spot. That would be very interesting at this spot. All right. I got to put my thinking cap on because I don't think y'all going to like who I want to pick. My thought process here is we have our edge. We have our linebacker. I think that we're at the point of cornerbacks that it's not. I mean, a lot of people are telling me good things about Mike. I like Josh Newton. Kyrie Jackson is somebody I like. Kalen King he tested pretty poorly. He played pretty poorly at the Senior Bowl. This past season wasn't his best. So he's one of those guys that if you're drafting him off of what he could become, not really what he's shown this past year. So I get a little worried about that. Cam Hart is another guy that I like. Did I say Kyrie Jackson? Because I like him. Shaw Smith Wade is another guy that I saw at the Senior Bowl that played really well. Jarvis Brown Lee is a guy that I really like. So I feel comfortable there. And so it comes down to defensive tackle. You look at and wide receiver. You look at defensive tackle. I do feel like there's kind of a drop off between these top two guys. I mean, I don't mind Jordan Jefferson. McKinley Jackson isn't terrible. Christian Boyd is a guy that I like towards the end. Then you got Johnny Wilson there, who would be really, really interesting. A big boy out there. That would be interesting. Then you could kind of use a guy like Devontae Smith more in the slot. Yeah, King. Kalen King really disappointed me. Guard, y'all not wrong. I think I kind of passed the point. Yeah, I kind of passed the point. Zach Zinter is probably who I'll be looking at, even though I think he's going to go a little bit higher than they have him ranked here. Yeah, I think I kind of passed the point of guys that I really am bullish on. I'm going to be real with y'all. I'm going to take Oh, don't tell me he's already gone. I thought he was here. All right, now. Yeah, I'm going to take Malik Mustafa. I talked about it earlier. I just love the versatility that he would bring to the team. That's really what it comes down to. I just feel like he would be a guy that you can play almost anywhere. He is undersized. I know people are going to say that he is undersized, but I just love Malik Mustafa. He's one of my draft crushes this year. I'm not going to lie to y'all. No Diddy. So see here, I would not mind a Kyrie Jackson, but I do want to look at who we have if we still got some guys. Yeah, see, I'll probably just wait. How would y'all feel about a running back? I probably should have got a wide receiver earlier. Javion Cohen, you like him? My question is, what about tight end? What about running back? Yeah. Well, Baker, I'm pretty sure we had a meeting with him, if I'm not mistaken. I will probably do one more before I get off anyway. So I'm going to go with, we talked about him before. So I feel like it was kind of, it was foreshadowing on my part. We talked about Zach Zinter right before we started doing this mock draft. So I'm going to go with Zach Zinter. It's funny. I thought Jamari Thrash was related to James Thrash. I don't think he is, though. We do need tight end. That's why I was kind of looking at tight end on the last pick. Now it's kind of like, Eric All, I wouldn't hate. Brevin Spain Ford is a big dude. I wouldn't hate that either. Dalen Hooker, I wouldn't mind. There's nobody that like really sticks out to me at tight end anymore. Tanner McLaughlin, I can't say his name, or AJ Barner. AJ Barner is good. AJ Barner is very good. Is he still there? Oh yeah. I feel like Luke McCaffrey makes sense here. I also do like Aniyah Smith. Taj Washington's good. Ray Davis, I would have hate. You can get yourself a cornerback here, a Shaw Smith Wade. How big is he? Is he like 5'10"? Yeah, he's 5'9". That's a. Garrett Greenfield wouldn't be a terrible pick here either. Christian Jones, I talked about. Christian Boyd, I've talked about. The tight ends are high as hell on AJ Barner. All right, screw it, man. If I pick him here, it's gonna make me watch more of him. So we're gonna pick him here. Should I pick him here? Damn, now I'm second guessing my own self. I'm between a running back, a wide receiver, and tight end. That's where I'm at right now. Which of those three would y'all pick? True. Because I like Ray Davis. I know he's a little bit older, but I like Ray Davis. I like Racine Ali. That's really the only guys I like. Jaden Sheridan, just because he was a small school guy that I saw somebody post a film about, and he was pretty good. Yeah, running back. Outside of Ray Davis, nobody makes a ton of sense, but Ray Davis does make sense. I'm gonna go Ray Davis. Screw it, man. I haven't taken him in a while. We don't trade with the devil. We don't trade with the devil. All right, so wide receiver, maybe I should have went a little bit earlier. How tall is Tom? 5'1". Probably should have went a little bit earlier. Yeah, I should have just took Luke McCaffrey. Shouldn't have overthought it. But I do like Anais Smith, and I think we met with him, so I'm going to go ahead with Anais Smith here. I'm going to go ahead and take Garrett Greenfield here. I think that's a guy that could develop. Damn, they took my dog. I was trying to get Jarvis Brown-Lee. Now I guess this is just, I mean, Nehemiah Pritchett, I have him a lot higher than they do, than probably everybody does. I don't have like a round 1 grade on him or anything, but I could see him being like a sneaky round 4, round 5 guy. I think he's actually pretty good, but I don't know. People don't like him. Sione Vaki is another guy that's pretty darn good. AJ Barner's already taken. I tried. Who else we got at cornerback? They couldn't have taken all my guys. I've heard about Quintez Stinger. There's a... Why I can't remember his name right now. But this guy that follows me on Twitter, he works for PFF and he's a Cowboys fan. He's a really good guy though, really really good guy. I feel so bad that I'm forgetting his name right now. But he's the one that actually told me about Quintez Stingers and told me he's a name to watch. So let's go ahead and take him. Look at that RAS score. I don't know if y'all like colorful charts, but 9.34. Yeah, round 7 is tough. At that point, you just get guys that you like, that you're like, it'll be interesting. Another guy that I take a lot is Eric Watts from UConn. He's like 6'5". I think that he would be interesting, and he played well at the Senior Bowl. Dalen Hooker would have been a good pick as well. So talk to me, guys. Talk to me. I mean, we made a cool little draft trade here. They ended up getting Nate Wiggins and Rook Okor, I can't say his last name. And we ended up taking Jarrett Verse and Malik Mustafa out of our trade. But I mean, that's not a terrible trade. That's not a terrible trade. We also gave up some other picks. I don't know why it's not showing that. What would y'all grade this? Shout out to everybody in the chat. We still got 32 people in the chat. Be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe. I appreciate y'all so much. I'm going to keep saying it because I really do mean it. I really appreciate y'all. We got Verse and Cooper. I'm good. I was so surprised to see Edgerrin Cooper still there at 50. Dad says he likes it, but he would take a wide receiver 3 at 97. I get it. I definitely get it. I think at 120, I probably could have made that argument too. 161, I probably could have made that argument too. Though I think Luke was still there. But I like Anais Smith. I think that Anais Smith is a guy that grows with your team. You can develop him. He doesn't have to start year 1. And again, I'm not big on thinking that wide receiver 3 is going to be a huge need for this team just because we don't use it. We don't use it. I don't think that we're going to have to. You got Devontae Smith here. He's going to be a lifer. AJ Brown's probably going to be a lifer because the contracts aren't going to really kill each other. So I think that we're going to be good. I respect it though. If we got a wide receiver, I ain't mad at it. I would be a little bit mad if they took a wide receiver round 1. I'm going to be real with you, but you want to do one more? We'll do one more and then get out of here. I'm going to save that and I'm going to put it on Twitter. We're gonna do one more. This one is gonna be a little bit more fast paced. A little bit more fast paced. I'm not gonna trade up. We're gonna see how it goes. We're gonna see how it falls to us. All right, so this is where we've kind of been. As far as like what I've seen, all right, I wouldn't be mad at that. As far as what I'm going to revisit that Ravens trade offer. But as far as like when I've been doing a lot of, and obviously this is Pro Football mock draft simulator, so you know, depends on where you have these guys ranked. I guess it's all about you. But this is what I've been seeing. I think I am going to trade back Daz. But, you know, if you were in this position, I wouldn't be mad with really anybody here. If you get a Cooper DeJean, I would love it. If you get a Byron Murphy, a Johnny Newton, I wouldn't be mad. Jackson Powers Johnson makes a lot of sense. I mean, there's a lot of guys. There's a lot of guys here that I would not be mad at. But I do think I'm going to take that trade back offer. I'm going to take it from them, but I want a little bit more. I don't want to pick at the end anymore, so I'll give you all that. I'll give you all that. I'll give you all that. I don't care. All right. More trade back offers. I might take that again. What we got here? So, all right. So, you know, most of the guys that I probably would have taken kind of fell out of, but I mean, this is what I was talking about. Now you look at our picks, right? You got 1, 2, 3, 4 in the top 100. If I move back again, I can get even more. I kind of feel like just moving back those 3 spots. Because the first round, the big thing about that is that 5th-year option. So, in my opinion, if I'm saying I want to keep somebody for 5 years at a cheap rate, I'm probably thinking Jackson Powers Johnson, maybe Kingsley. That's really about it, though. That's really about it. Maybe TJ Tampa. That's really about it, though. Maybe this is where you take Edgerrin Cooper and say you have a linebacker for, you know, the foreseeable future. But outside of that, maybe a Cooper BB. But realistically, there's nobody. I mean, Darius Robinson, I like him, but I don't know if I love him. I don't know if I'm like, you know, we'll take him in the first round because we need to have him type status. I'm really thinking about taking this offer. Yeah, I'm going to fall back. It's only three spots. And I already know who I'm going to take. Let me look at my picks real quick. All right, I'm going to hope that my guy's there still again. I mean, we're going to try different players, actually. So I took Jackson Powers Johnson. He can move to guard, in my opinion, or he can play center. You know what I'm saying? If you want him to play center, he'll play center. He'll be a perennial all-pro at center. But if you need him to move to guard, he can do that. So I would feel comfortable with that. Edgerrin Cooper gets taken, so it makes my job a little bit easier because I did say I wanted to get different players. So we got our offensive linemen. I really would love Adisa Isaac here. Chris Broswell is not a bad option. Braylon Trice is not a bad option. Braden Fisk, Peyton Wilson. Patrick Paul makes sense here. Cooper Beebe makes, we already got a guy, so we're good there. Tyler Nubin makes sense here. He does. He's, to a lot of people, he's the best safety in the draft. So, he definitely makes sense here. People saying either Enos Rakestraw or Broswell. Yeah, I'm between Isaac. Who do you see? Wilson. Oh, Peyton Wilson. I'm right now between Isaac and Max Melton. I'm not gonna lie to you. If I can get both of them, I will. All right. Well, we're gonna go with Adisa Isaac because we need edge. We need an edge player. They didn't make it easier for me. I was kind of hoping they would take one of them. Look, all right, let's have this conversation. I like Max Melton. I really do. I mean, shoot, you could throw a monkey wrench in it all and just go ahead and get Junior Colson or Peyton Wilson or Cedric Gray. I really like Max Melton, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah, I mean... Rake has that dog in him. I think Max does too. Bro comes from Rutgers. He ain't, you know what I'm saying? Bro's from Rutgers. He knows what it is to be a dog, bro. I'm going with Max Melton, man. I'm going with Max Melton. Shout out to Max Melton, bro. Shout out to Max Melton. I know his cousin. I got to talk to him at the Senior Bowl. Bro is chill. So I hope we do get him. That would be dope. Now we could just stay up in the top 100 all day. The Bengals did help us out when we wanted to move up. Well, let's see who we got here. What's my next pick? My next pick is 101. So now I'm between a wide receiver and a linebacker. That's really kind of what I'm thinking. Because Roman Wilson, to me, is one of the better wide receivers in this draft class. But then you look at linebacker, and when you get down to it, who are you going to take? You look at that. Junior Colson already went. Peyton Wilson is there. I mean, I wouldn't hate having a Trevin Wallace, but I don't even think he'll fall. Jeremiah Trotter. I like Jeremiah Trotter, but he is undersized. So we have to be understanding about that. Like if you're on the fence about a guy like Nakobe Dean because of his size, you're going to be on the same fence with Jeremiah Trotter. There's not much of a difference. And Jeremiah Trotter didn't test that well either. He's very, very similar to Nakobe Dean. So I think you want to get somebody different. Some people saying Ricky Pearsall. Was he still there? This is tough. This is a tough one. We did have a trade offer. Do I just move back to 80 and let them make the decision for me? I am torn. I'm not gonna lie. I think that linebacker is more of a pressing need. It worries me with Peyton Wilson simply because of his injury history, and I think he got arrested like his freshman year or something like that. That came up. I just feel like you got to take Peyton right now. That was a tough decision, though. But again, it goes back to it's a tough decision because we have the flexibility now. We can really say we don't necessarily need to do that. We can do this. So now it comes down to, do you like Johnny Wilson? Malik Washington, I like. You can get Jerry Rice's kid. Javon Baker, Luke McCaffrey. I wouldn't mind any of these tight ends, but I think we could wait. Devondre Sweat is still there. Dadrian Taylor Demerson is really good. We don't have a safety. Yeah, his son isn't as good. Definitely not as good. But that's not say. Who is as good as Jerry Rice? You can't draft a guy unless he's been arrested. Devondre Sweat is definitely very enticing right now. Not going to lie to you. Devondre Sweat is very enticing. You know what? We're going to go with Johnny Wilson. Last draft, I waited too long on wide receivers. I will say, though, Devondre Sweat is staring at me. And Dadrian Taylor Demerson is no slouch either. But I'm going to go with Johnny Wilson. Devondre Sweat goes right before us. That's crappy. I'm going to take... I'm between Josh Newton and Demerson right here. I want to take Malik Mustafa, but I'm not going to bore you out of death with the same players. I'm between Demerson and Josh Newton. Cade Stover would be a nice option at tight end. There's some tight ends here, but I got 120 as well, so I think that I can still probably pick from these four, and those are kind of four guys that I really like at this spot. So I'm kind of bullish right now between Demerson and Josh Newton. I really think Kyrie I wouldn't be mad at. Damn, we got some ballers. Hold up. Yeah, we still got some ballers left. I wouldn't even be mad at Johnny Dixon. This is a little bit early, but I like all three of these safeties. I love Jonah Ellis. Damn, now it's actually a little bit hard. I love Mustafa, bro. If we got Mustafa and Max Melton in the same draft and Peyton Wilson, and Jackson Powers Johnson. Shout out to Jackson Powers Johnson, mom. Shout out to Malik Mustafa's mom, because they both follow me. So that would be dope. I do love Jonah Ellis. I'm gonna go with my gut, and I'm gonna go with the safety, and I'm gonna go with Demerson. And look at that. Nobody wants to trade with me. Man. Because, damn, there's still some good players I would love to get. Jalen Wright, I like. Dylan Loeb, I like. Lube, I don't know how you say his last name. I like him. Malik Mustafa, y'all know I like Malik Mustafa. We still got Cade Stover there. Josh Newton is still there. Jalen Ford, Malik Washington, Ray Davis, Cam Hart, Marshawn Lloyd. Oof. Jarrett Wiley. Jarrett Wiley, I think, is probably the most slept on tight end in this class, personally. Zach Zinter. Estime is nice. I like Aldrick a lot. Ooh, Richie Incognito. That's a throwback name right there. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. We got 41 people in the chat, man. That's insane. That is insane. You guys are way too good to me. So do we go corner? We could go running back. Bucky Irvin there. How tall is Bucky Irvin? 5'9". Dang, he had a 2.23 RAS score. What happened to his? What happened on his pro day? This is tough. This is a tough one for me. I like Bucky a lot. I'm going to go with Josh Newton, y'all. I could sit here all day and complain and worry about this. That's what I'm saying. I want to know how he got a 2.23. I'm going to go with Josh Newton here, y'all. Because y'all not helping me, so. Y'all not helping me. So y'all were supposed to tell me who to pick so y'all couldn't get mad. So look at all these good players still available. This is going to be a fun draft. And shameless plug, me and James will be going live for the first round of the draft. So best of enemies, we're going to be live for the draft. Yeah, I don't know why people don't like Josh Newton as much as they should. He's very, very, very good. A very good player. All right. So that was fun. So the first one, y'all gave me an A. I think that was a little bit too nice, maybe a little bit too nice. I would say maybe like a B+. I'll take a B+. I'm humble. I like to be humble. But, this one, we went a little bit more straight and narrow instead of, trading up. We traded backwards. But you still got a haul. So it's like, it really comes down to whatever you want to do as the Eagles. You can do it because you have the assets. You have the assets you need, and you made this draft easy by going all in free agency. And you didn't even really go all in. You just filled the holes you needed to fill with players that make sense. So I'm hype. I don't know how y'all feel. I am very, very excited about this draft. I'm very excited about what's coming up for this team. I'm very excited what's coming up for me and what's coming up for you guys. This is life is going to be good. Hopefully we don't have to deal with that abomination of the last 8 weeks we saw last season, because I don't think my heart can deal with it. I do not think my heart can deal with it. But shout out to everybody in the chat, man. I know I'm saying this a lot, but it really, really does mean the world to me that you guys stuck with me and are back just, at a live stream. And it really does mean so much for me. And I can't explain how good it feels to know that the community we've built together is still here strong. So I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe, and tomorrow I will be back. That's the crazy part. Tomorrow I will be back. Got a haircut at 12 o'clock, so unfortunately I'll still be looking bummy tomorrow. But, soon enough I'm going to be looking all fly for y'all and stuff. We going to kill it. But other than that, y'all know what it is, man. It is Fly Goes Fly. And we are out, yeah. Peace! I miss this outro so much.
Yeah. Fly was flying on the team. Touchdown. Time to get Jalen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a Bird Gang Nation, baby. It's a Philly thing. Hater, and you looking like you type trash. I'm just here cool on Philly the podcast. And we can call a man dog or watch Miles score off the handoff. Rest of the division, your man saw Jackson like Sean, hunting like Randall. Season head, early time to do him in. Your boy Philly Fresco.